Welcome to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be looking at the chord progression from Hey Joe and talking about how you can use shapes to move that around the fretboard, and also how you can add some melodic fills in between the chords to just add another element to your rhythm playing. So let's get right into the lesson. This is a very interesting song because we're using only major chords, and each chord is played for a count of 2. So that's 2 chords per measure like this. So we're going to do C, 2, G, 4, D, A, and E. 2, 3, 4. And that's when you hear the... Okay, so now what we want to do is move those to bar chords. And we're only going to have 2 shapes, which is pretty awesome. We're going to have the A shape, so the A major shape, which is built off the 5th string root like this. And I'm only going to go to the B string. I don't really care to get that high E string. I never really did. I like ending on the 3rd. I always think that sounds great. So C to G, the E shape bar chord, right? Probably the first one you learn. Moving that whole thing up a whole step, D, A, and now to play the E, you could still go to the open chord because it sounds super resonant. Right, but you could also move it up here. I've seen people use like the sharp 9, but I'm not really sure that that captures the sound of the recording. But if you're gonna play it by yourself in a jam, you know, sometimes I think it clashes, so you can, but then like the E major sounds too bright. It's a weird thing, and that's a great lesson in understanding. It's kind of like an arranging concept, right? Like if I was arranging something for strings, I would think about the voices, I would think about the range, and that's something that you should explore on the guitar, at least think about it. This sounds far less bright and happy as that, and maybe that's because we have the major 3rd on top. Maybe if you played a power chord. So you can also do that. You can leave like the open B. You know, whatever you want to do, there's options for that, but that's sort of for you to explore on your own. So the main chord progression, 1, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, A, 4, E, 2, 3, 1. Explore the rhythm, right? Do like those strums where you take the pressure off. That's a great method in itself, just so, okay, I'm gonna move this away from playing the open chords if you learn the song with open chords, right? So now what we're gonna do is play the major pentatonic scale of each chord. So what that looks like, C is like this. Okay, so this is gonna apply to every single chord and it's gonna look exactly the same. You just have to understand the way it's built off the root. So let's talk about the major pentatonic, okay? We have the note C here. Gonna go to D, a whole step up. Going up to E, the major 3rd. Okay, the perfect 5th. Beautiful. Get familiar with that. So that covers the major pentatonic scale off of C. Let's do it off of G. It's going to look exactly the same. 3rd fret for G. Okay. Good. For D, it would be exactly the same. I'm going to play a little faster. Now what I did there is a quick hammer-on pull-off. Now, that's a stylistic choice. That's something that you would hear Hendrix do a lot for sure. He might even do like a double stop. You know, and that might be a little bit tricky for you to do that quick hammer on and pull off, so practice this slowly. You can use different chord progressions. It doesn't have to apply directly to Hey Joe, but this works over all of your major chords in any song, and of course it does. You're outlining the chord essentially by doing that, right? We have the major 3rd, we have the 5th, so that's perfect. That's going to work really well, especially for your major chords in a key, a 1, 4, and 5, right? Now let's take a musical approach and play along with it. So the tempo, 2, 3, 4. Now, that little thing, I'm literally just copying that right from the record. And it's a slide in, so you don't even have to go from the 5th fret. It could be a quick slide. You just need to be accurate enough to stop the note on the 7th, which over time you get really used to what that feels like, and you're not gonna miss it, but at first, you might be all over the place with it, and that's totally okay, so you could slide in a little closer. Okay, if you want to take this to the next level, of course, you could think about the E minor pentatonic here. Let's not talk about the theory of why it works, but that it just does, okay? So, right, so when you get to the E, this is a song that I would think most guitar teachers use as a study to play over major chords, and it's such a fun chord progression to use because you only need 2 shapes. Okay, so this is one I definitely recommend putting in your practice routine and messing around with the notes. And playing around with what you can do with the pentatonic scale in between the chords. As always, I'll have all the practice material available on my Patreon for only $5 a month with the downloadable PDF and some notation synced with my actual playing. So give that a shot and let me know what you think. As always, it was a pleasure to make this lesson for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.